Hi, everyone. Thank you for your patience. This is Hallie. I was having some technical issues, so I appreciate your patience. Let me go ahead and get my screen to share, and we will get started. I was having trouble with both of those, so bear with me 1 second. Let me see if I can do this again. And reminder that we are going to be recording today as well, and you should receive a copy of the recording automatically. But let me make sure. Yeah, I don't know why I'm having trouble with downloading these here. Apologize. Hold on 1 second. Thanks for your patience, everybody. 1 second here. I need you all to be able to see my slides. Worst case, if we cannot share the slides today, I'd be happy to share them with all of you afterwards. So 1 more second, let me try this again. I never have trouble with this, but for some reason today it's not liking what I'm doing. Okay, let's see if this does it. Okay, share this. And thanks for your patience, everybody. Okay. Hopefully you all can see my screen. It's saying unable to, and I don't understand why. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I will keep trying to work on this. I'm going to start the recording, but I want to be mindful of your time today, and I will keep trying to share my screen in different ways as needed. So I'm Hallie Crawford. I'm a certified career coach, speaker, and author, and we are going to be talking today about new year, new gig. Is this the right time for me to get a new position next year? And we thank you, all of the alum from Georgia State University. Grateful for you being here today. And also friends of ours, of my organization as well. Greatly appreciate it. So just so you know, we realize that when you're thinking about a new position, it could be as soon as possible next year. It could be later in the year. It just depends on what your situation is. And we know that some people feel like, you know, this is a really good time for me to make a move. Some people feel like they need to wait a little bit longer, etc. But we will help you today think through all of the different steps that you need to consider and think about as you're working on considering a new position. So just by way of very quick introduction, I'm a certified career coach, speaker, and author based in Atlanta, Georgia. I've been coaching and training since 2002, so it's been a very long time in a good way. I love what I do, and our coaches do as well. And I have an undergraduate degree from Vanderbilt University and a master's degree from the University of Illinois. And one of the first things that we want you to think about from at least what is our audio for today until I get our slides working, but we will send you the slides afterwards. So feel free to take notes while we're talking today, but we will send you the recording and we will also send you the slides as well. It's a really good idea because we're going to be talking about several different things today for you to pick one action step that you will take in the new year, but now until the holiday season, whatever is best for you, in order to start to make a move towards a new position for you, however that looks. So write down one thing when we're done today that you want to take on for your situation that makes the most sense. So the first thing that we want to discuss is why, and that we understand too, that job searching and career transition, it can be really, really challenging for people. And we understand that and know that it can be tough. And this is why we're here today, that it takes a little bit of time in order to figure out what the right next step is. And I think that there's pros and cons to the new technology and everything else that's out there regarding finding a new job or career transition and job searching in general. It's great to have that new technology and be able to leverage it and use it like AI, et cetera, but it also can feel really overwhelming for people, which we understand too. Some of our clients will tell us that they get overwhelmed or feel challenged with making a career shift just because there's so many different steps to take. Some people will say, gosh, I just don't know how to use my time wisely, or I don't have enough time to deal with this. And some people will say too, it's like, I don't know how to, use my time really wisely and what's going to be the best use of my time. So we want to talk today about all of these things. And what I would say economy-wise is that I do think things are going to pick up in the new year so that it will be a better time to start searching for something new and a little bit easier to get something different. What we find is during an election year, regardless of who is running and, what the outcome is, that companies and organizations and the job market starts to just kind of freeze up a little bit because people are concerned about or worried about, okay, what's going to happen next? And they always, things slow down just a little bit. So please know that next year, we do think the market is going to open up again. And in terms of job searching, things will get a little bit easier. So here's our agenda for today. The 4 steps that we would like you to take, and like I said, I'm still trying to figure out how to get my slides to show, so thanks for your patience there. You'll get the recording and the slides as well. The first step we want you to take in order to, think about a new gig for you or a new career path is you want to make sure that you're really defining your direction and know the direction that you want to head, because the clearer you are about your path and, the steps that you want to take next, the more successful you're going to be, okay? And the second thing we want you to do after you define your direction is to prep your materials. For example, your resume, your LinkedIn, your cover letter. And yes, we still want people to have cover letters just in case. The third thing we want you to do is to research where you would like to move next, what the right career path would be for you, and what's going on within that industry, and start networking with people. Network your little heart out. We just had a client last week get a new position, one the week before, who has 5 interviews lined up for this week, and they all got those possibilities or options or, offers because of networking. And then step number 4 is implement your plan. So define your direction, prep your materials, research and network, and then implement your plan. So let's talk first about step number 1. Get as focused as you possibly can about the path that you would like to take. But know that it's okay if you have 1 or 2 different career ideas that you're interested in. You don't have to just have one path that you're considering. It's okay if you have maybe 2 or 3, but we don't want you to have more than that. Then you're starting to muddy the waters and get things that's going to be too confusing for you, and you're going to be all over the place. So if you feel like you need to cast your net a little bit wider just because you need to and want to make sure you're really covering your bases, happy with how things are going, and want to make sure that you get a new position sooner than later, then it's okay to have a couple of ideas. But remember, we don't want you to have too many. So get as targeted and focused as you possibly can on your career path and the next, job that you want to have. And one of the best ways to start doing that is to separate what has worked for you in your current position and what has not worked for you in your current position. Create a list of likes and dislikes. And from that list, think about, okay, what do you want to have instead? So, what would you like to have instead of those things that you don't like as much? And what would you like to continue to have in your career that you have enjoyed? And one of the cool things about this exercise, even though it seems pretty simple, is that it's actually going to help you identify themes in what you're interested in so that you can get a clear sense of, for example, I really just need to make a change, for example, to my work environment versus a complete career transition. So write down your likes and your dislikes And then from that, start to identify what you'd like to have instead in your next career or in your next job, and clarify what are the themes there, what's most important to you, and do you need to make a big shift or a smaller shift? The next thing that we would suggest after you've started on this list of likes and dislikes is to leverage our ideal career model. And as I said, I'm so sorry about the slides. I'm still working on it to see if I can get this up here. But to define your direction based on our ideal career model is the next thing that we always want to have people look at, if you will, because that's what's going to help you understand and get clear on, okay, am I making the right next career choice? And so that you know what the pieces of our model are, just so that you can write these down and get clear here, you want to be thinking about what would be fulfilling and rewarding to you, what your interests have been in the past in your career and what you want to carry forward there, what your top 5 strengths are, what your past experience and education is that you would like to either leverage in a new or different way, and or what you'd like to add to your repertoire in terms of your experience and education. And the last 3 elements we want you to consider are your personality type. Are you more introverted or extroverted? Your work environment. What kind of work environment is best for you? And then finally, last but absolutely not least, is your compensation. So what we find when you're brainstorming ideas is that we like for people to start with fulfillment first and interests, because they get the most career ideas from those. And then after that, you can start to narrow down your ideas from like using the rest of the model in those practical considerations. Okay, so that's why we like people to start with fulfillment first. Compensation is critically important, but we want you to think about these other things as well at the very beginning to get a lot of different ideas. All right, so let's think about the next step that we want you to take when you're working on and trying to identify what would be most fulfilling and rewarding to you. What we'd like you to think about is things like, how do you define success? What does success look like for you next year? What would your ideal day at work be for you? And also, what are your top career values? What are your top 3 career values? And what does that mean in terms of the shifts you want to make related to your next career path? Now, as part of brainstorming ideas, and especially when you're looking at the model and also leveraging and considering what would be most fulfilling for you, you want to be thinking about what your top values are. And some of the ways that you can start to brainstorm ideas for yourself, by the way, would be to leverage AI. You can use AI to put some keywords in there about, okay, what would be most interesting for me, et cetera, et cetera. But you also want to make sure that when you do that, you're thinking through any ideas that come up there related to our model, though, because remember, AI is a computer. It's helpful, but it's not the end-all, be-all. You need to filter things through what you know is going to be the most important things for you. All right. We also like, as you're working through your career ideas, to consider things like career assessments, because those can help you understand better what your personality type is, what your strengths are, and a lot of other great things. We like career assessments and strengths assessments and all those other good things. However, we want you to know, if you've ever taken an assessment before and you're like, well, it told me I should be like a circus clown or something that, you know, maybe is not as appealing to you, what you have to remember is that assessments only take into account some of the pieces of our career model, and that's where they're useful in giving you accurate, good information, but they're only covering one piece of the model. So this is why we want you, when you get the slides from us, we want you to download the model so you can take a look at all of these different pieces and use the results of your assessments to understand, okay, these are the components I better understand now. All right, step number 2 for new year, new gig is to work on your materials. We know that the majority of our clients, they always realize, of course, that they need to update their resume, they need to update their LinkedIn. We do like for people to create a cover letter and have one for lots of different reasons. But 2 of the things we find that people don't do as well as we would like is they don't brand themselves as well as they could on their LinkedIn and on their resume. We want, when someone comes to your resume or looks at it or comes to your LinkedIn profile, I want to know exactly who you are right away. What type of professional you are, what type of job title you're going for, why I should hire you, so to speak, okay? And it's important to lay your resume out in the right way for that and do the same with your LinkedIn with a branded banner, and also make sure that you're search engine optimizing your materials as well. We can help you with this. We have short, simple, easy packages. If, for example, you just need to a banner and to search engine optimize your LinkedIn. I'll send you a link for that after we're done today. We've got packages that will just, where you can buy our resume templates. The templates are great because it helps you lay out your resume in the right way. It gives you ideas for content, but it also ensures that you get past the scanning systems. So with your resume and LinkedIn, remember that we've got these issues these days, pros and cons again, that you've got to have the right keywords in there, and things need to be laid out in the right way so that you can get past those scanning systems. So just keep that in mind. And we don't always recommend getting a template online from a website like Canva, etc., because some of those templates can be helpful, but some of them are not laid out in the right way to get past the scanning systems. And that's why we have specific templates we give to our clients that we sell online, because they look good, but they also will get past the scanners. The other thing that people don't do quite as well as we would like is they don't create their elevator pitch. They kind of forget this. I know that updating your resume and LinkedIn can be a lot of work, and then people kind of get fried and burned out from that, and they forget to have a really good, succinct elevator pitch when they're networking with people, when they're introducing themselves to a new person, etc. And it's really important to have this so that when you're talking with people in different situations, including interviews, you're ready to go, and it's short and sweet, and it comes across as really confident. And when you're writing your elevator pitch, you want to make sure that you're very focused on the results that you provide to the people that you work for and or with. So, for example, your boss, but also your clients or your customers, if that's relevant for you. So make sure that when you're writing this, it's attention-grabbing, that you have it be very results-oriented. You introduce yourself based on your job title and who you are as an expert and as a professional, but that you let people know right away, this is what I do. I am able to help people find jobs that want to make them jump out of bed in the morning to go to work. That's my elevator pitch. So you want to have something really sharp that people will remember, but they also understand, oh yeah, she's the woman who can do this. So they remember you for networking purposes. We talked already about quick notes about AI and how you can leverage it for your materials. Do not use ChatGPT or AI to create your materials from scratch. We don't recommend that. What we hear from employers and recruiters is that they can tell when it's solely been written by AI and they don't like it. So here's what we say. If you need ideas, you can use it to create this paragraph for you, but then we want you to rewrite it in your own language and in your own voice. Or you can write some of your content yourself and then have AI kind of improve it or help you update it a little bit. So just be careful with that. We like it. We're not against AI at all. Just remember it's a tool to use, not something that you want to just leverage, from scratch, okay? The next thing that we want to talk about too, after your materials, your cover letter, everything else, is how to leverage LinkedIn and how important it is to start researching, okay, how do I stand out from the crowd, and networking with people as well. So remember that people still get jobs through the people that they know. That's the majority of where you want to spend your time, is networking. So adding to your LinkedIn connections, getting up to that magic number of 500 is important. Reaching out to new people, but also letting people in your existing network know that you're looking is critically important as well. We like for you to leverage your Georgia State or your any other alumni group that you can join or belong to, because those are new possible warm leads that you can leverage over time. And with each of these people, or as many people as possible, instead of saying to yourself, because I had a friend of mine ask me this a couple weeks ago, her husband lost his job, and the first thing she asked me was, how many jobs does he need to apply to every day to get something quickly? And that's just the wrong answer, or I'm sorry, the wrong question to be asking. The thing that you want to be asking yourself or telling yourself is, how many people do I need to talk to every day and every week in order to get a job faster? So flip it on its head and don't sit there and just apply online all day, every day. Spend the majority of your time making connections with people, researching your industry, the industry that you want to get into. What are they looking for? What are the buzzwords? What's going on there? And then talking with people in order to find that new position. The other thing about informational interviews that can be helpful is when you're brainstorming different ideas, these informational interviews can help you narrow down your ideas over time. And understand, okay, I thought this job was going to be like this, but now I'm realizing, it may not be the right career path for me. So the networking can start right away, because it's not just about getting the job, but it's also a way to help you find out about different job opportunities or career paths that you didn't even know existed in the first place. And then our final step, and again, I apologize so much for not being able to share my screen. I'm going to put in the chat box my email address, or the one that goes to myself as well as our admin, so that you can make sure, if you're antsy to get the slides right away, you can email us and I'll send those to you so that you have them. You will get the recording of what we did today automatically. But the final step here before we go today is to have a plan. So your plan needs to incorporate everything that we talked about today. Define your direction first, brainstorm ideas, and research and see what else is out there. There are so many jobs and career paths you don't even know exist. I don't even know exist. We had a client working with one of our coaches a few weeks ago, and he was actually going to look out on job boards, etc., to hire a new person for his team. And while doing so, he actually found out and discovered jobs that he wanted to apply to that he felt would be a better fit for him in the long run. So he started looking out there for himself as a result. And when you've been in a job for a really long time, this can happen easily. The economy and the workforce has changed so much over the past several years that there are jobs out there that are new, brand new, that you may not even know exist. So we want you to start that at the very beginning. So brainstorming ideas, updating your materials, doing your research and networking, and then finally, when you're creating your plan for making a shift or a change, it's a really good idea to have an Excel spreadsheet that maps out what your schedule is going to be for every week, so that you know what your goals are every week, a certain number of people that you want to connect with and talk to, where you want to be networking, the people that you've spoken to, and what has been said, so that you really keep track of those networking efforts and what your next steps need to be. And make sure that you check this spreadsheet every single week so you know what you need to be doing next. We have one that we give to our clients when they work with us to get this started. We would be happy to do a quick one-time session with any of you to help with this more if you feel like you need assistance. There is an easy way to schedule a consult with us, and I'll put this in the chat box as well. And if you have any questions after the webinar today, because we do not do questions during these because we focus on getting the content across to you all, please feel free to email me. It's in the chat box that I just put in there. Okay, so locate that if you would. You can email us with any questions. I'm also going to put a link in there to set up a time to talk with us about our services. If you're interested in that, we do offer a discount to our Georgia State alum. So please feel free to ask about that or mention it as well so I can give you that coupon code for sessions with us. As a quick reminder before we go here, you will get the recording automatically. You can request the slides immediately, or we will send those to you in the next 24 hours automatically as well. We hope you have a wonderful holiday. And the last kind of final thought and thing I will tell you is when our clients tell us during this time of year, and everyone will say this, well, I should just wait until the new year, right? Because no one's really hiring or networking or whatever. It's the opposite. I do want you all to take downtime and time with your family. We need time to rest and rejuvenate, absolutely. But most people are saying what our clients will normally say. So there's less competition for people's time. And as I said a moment ago, we have a client who this week literally has 4 interviews. We've had a client before get a job offer on Christmas Day. So you just don't know what's happening out there. I encourage you to not stop working on this during the holidays, because in some cases you will be able to get in front of people more because everyone else is taking a break. Thank you so much for your time and your patience today with the technology. Please let us know if you have any questions. Best wishes for a wonderful holiday season and New Year. And our next webinars are going to be coming up in January, so look out for those. We will send you, if you're part of our newsletter list, you will get notified about these free webinars automatically. If you're not on that list already, just send us an email so that you can get access to these free webinars. Our first one with Georgia State next year is going to be January 28th at 12 noon, and it's 5 ways to stand out in your job search. And then our second one is going to be facing the fear of a career transition on Thursday, January 30th at 12 noon as well. Thanks again, everybody. Happy holidays.